All right, so we're going to look at how to solve conic systems, or basically we want to know where two conic sections or a conic section in a line, where they intersect. So for example, we have x squared plus y squared equals 13 and y equals x minus 1, and we want to solve that system. So we're given a circle and a line, and we're going to use our graphing calculators to find the solutions or to find where they intersect. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Now, you'll notice in order to graph these, if you hit your y equals button, we need to have the equation set equal to y. So that's the first step that you would take when solving these systems, is you get y by itself. So on our first equation, you'll want to subtract the x squared over. So we'll get y squared equals 13 minus x squared. And then we need to take the square root of both sides. So when we do that, we need to make sure we remember to put a plus or minus sign in front of the square root. So in actuality, we have three equations that we're going to be plugging into our calculator. We've got the line and we've got the two halves of the circle. So let's go ahead and plug those in. And make sure that when you put in the negative square root, you use the little negative in parentheses symbol, since we're starting out with that sign. And then hit graph. Now this looks kind of like an ellipse, but that's because the calculator is stretched more horizontally than vertically. So the picture will be stretched a little bit too. But you can see that the line is intersecting the circle in two spots. So there's going to be two sets of solutions for this problem. So in order to find those intersection points, you're going to hit second and then trace. And we're going to go down to option number 5, which says intersect. Okay, first curve. So the calculator is going to ask us which two equations to look at. Remember, we actually have three equations in our calculator. We have the top part of the circle, the line, and the bottom part. For our first intersection point, let's look at the top part of the circle and the line. So I'm going to go ahead and click enter to mark the line as being one of our equations. And it tells you up here in the upper left-hand corner which equation you're on, along with having the cursor be on that curve. If you're not on the curve that you want, use your up arrow to toggle between the curves. So I also want the top part of the circle, so I'll hit enter. For guess, it wants you to move your cursor to where you think they're intersecting. Doesn't really matter if you move it though, you can just press enter wherever. Okay, and it says that intersection point is at 3, 2. So that is our first solution. All right, and then you just repeat the process for the second intersection point. Let me clear that. So second, trace, 5, intersect. I'm going to move my cursor down a little further to the other intersection point. Okay, first curve, I do want the line, so I'll hit enter. And then I'll use my up arrow key to move to the bottom part of the circle and enter. And guess, enter. -2, -3. Okay, and those are our solutions for this system. Now when you're graphing these, you could have 0 solutions, 1 solution, or 2 solutions. So we had 2. Well, we can have 2 when we have a conic section and a line. If you have more than one conic section, you could have more than 2. But we're just going to look at conics and lines. So let's say that you had this ellipse. Oh man, that looks really bad. Oh well, that ellipse and this line. They're not intersecting at all, so that would be no solution. And then let's say that you had a parabola and a line. Here you maybe have one solution right when the line is touching the parabola right there. So yeah, there you go.